to Trina Yani's World, Season 1, Episode 2. Let's talk. Come on in. Let's go back to January 2024. I was working at Amazon for Perry Solution DSP company, making $19.75 an hour. Good money. All that overtime and all that. Checks used to be like 2-3 stacks every time I got paid. But anywho, one day I had gotten in the shower early and I kept hearing my phone ring, just ringing off the chain. I'm trying to figure out why my phone ringing like that, right? So I get out the shower. I see that the police had called, my son had called, my other son had called. And so I had called my son back first, Joseph. And he was telling me that my son was in a hospital. So I told him that I'll call him back. And I called the number, the officer number who called me. Right? So they said my son, Jamel, had to be airlifted to the hospital. Now he all the way in Maryland. I'm in Georgia. Had to be airlifted to the hospital because him and his uncle was fighting, and his uncle hit him in his head with a dumbbell. So he was bleeding on the brain. And you talking about somebody got hysterical, and I wanted to leave Georgia right then and there and go to Maryland. I had the money to go, but I had my daughter. I couldn't just like up and leave. It was so overwhelming. My son been with his father since he was like 4 years old, and for them to call me, he 18 now. They called me when he was 17. He turned 18 on February 8th, right? So he was with his father all them years, and to get a devastating call like that, like I talk to him periodically every day, but come visit or whatever. But to get a call like that is devastating. So it was overwhelming. It put me into a deep depression that quick, like that fast. Like I was just fine working, paying my bills, had my bills caught up. My bills were so caught up that it had credit to them. Like I was putting extra money on them. So, and then at this instance, I had to stop what I was doing. I ain't go down there until about, I think I waited for my next paycheck to go because I already knew I was going to spend some money. So I got paid that Friday, and I think I waited till that Friday 2-3 days later or something so I could have more money. But I depleted my savings and all that going to get my son because he didn't have no clothes because he couldn't go back to that man's house because of the situation, the incident or whatever. So he didn't have no clothes. I had to pay me and my daughter fare down there, pay me, her fare, and his fare back up. We had to eat. Y'all know how it is traveling or whatever. But I had almost 4 stacks. I had almost $4,000 saved up. I was saving for when I get my taxes so I can merge the money together and get me a car and start doing my self-employment, my Uber and my gig work and stuff. But that didn't happen. Them plans got crushed. My plans got crushed. What happened to my son crushed me. So, you know, that's a whole overwhelming situation. So I get my son, but I come back, I go straight back to work. I told him I'm coming back to work. Like I like working and help with my depression and stuff. Me working, a lot of people can't do it, but me working help with my depression and my anxiety. So I went back to work, but I didn't know my body. Woo! Your body can collect so much stress and so much emotional baggage and stuff that it will drain you. I had no idea that I was that drained. But anyway, I started lacking. For real. I think the situation, the depression and stuff, like I became unfocused. So I started lacking. And I wound up losing my job behind that. Talking about more depression. that's when I started smoking weed again and drinking more. Every now and again I pop a pill or whatever. But then, alright, that happened in January. I lost my job about February the 2nd. I'm drinking, I'm smoking, I'm popping pills sometimes. I'm just out of my mind. And so I thought I picked me a shady spot. But not when the sun came out, kissed by the sun. But I thought then I had pulled myself together and started working at Walmart. Go from $19 an hour to $15 an hour, not even working full time. But I took it. But guess what? My son was there. I got that job. I started working like June. By August, I done lost that job too. Because of my son. It's like, I don't mean to put him in that words, but it's like I went and picked up the devil's advocate or something. Like he came to my place and destroyed all the peace, caused so much damage and stuff. But anywho, I started working again in August or June. I started working again in June, like the end of June or something, at Walmart, $15 an hour. And one day I had got a call from my daughter. She yelling and crying and talking about she's scared. Like, she didn't even know I was on my way home. I ain't even felt like hearing that. I had me the lady at work done. That's another story. But anyway, stick to the script. But I was on my way home anyway when my daughter called. Man, when I tell you I got off that bus and that boy was throwing stuff out the back door, throwing stuff around my house and all that. And we got the fussing that day. And he threw something at me. And I pulled back like that. And it missed. But yeah, we got the fussing that day. And like, you disrespectful, like you ungrateful, disrespectful child. But I put him out that day. I don't even like putting people out because I know what it feels like to be on the streets and stuff, but ain't no way in the world you gonna come into my house and destroy my peace and disrespect me and stuff. Ain't no way I'm gonna let that happen. I don't care who you are. That's not about to happen. That's a no-go. That's a no-go with me. But anyway, God said, honor your parents. He didn't honor me. Guess what happened to him later on that day? He got locked up. Then he had a warrant in Virginia. So now he's locked up. He's locked up in Virginia. He got locked up that same day. He disrespected me and stuff. It was disrespect before then. But that particular day, this was out of control. You throwing stuff at me, like you throwing stuff out my door. You hit the refrigerator. There's a dent in my refrigerator door. There's a holes in my wall and all that stuff. Like, it was peaceful before you got here, bro. And guess what? I'm gonna keep it that way. But now he's locked up. I've been smoking. I've been drinking. I don't pop the pills like that. I just, back then when that happened, I needed a pill and stuff. I popped a Zanny, a Perk, I don't know, but I'm learning to not run the substance when I'm depressed and things. Depressed and my anxiety kicked in. I'm not gonna run to them things. And as a matter of fact, from this day forward, I'm cleaning my temple. It felt better when I was sober. Those who follow me know when I was sober, 4K sober, no cigarette, no weed, no nothing. I'm going back to that now. I love y'all. Thank you for taking the time out to listen. And stay tuned for season 1, episode 3. Love y'all. Make today beautiful no matter what.